Morning, everybody. It's the 2nd of February. That was a mixed bag of photos there. I was running late and I just stopped and I got to pick it off the screen. So I go dunk, 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 dunk. And yeah, there's some interesting stuff there. Just quickly, that's the Ocean Globe Race, fully crewed Whitbread 50th. Oh, jeepers, wrong way. 50th anniversary edition in 2023. And in fact, I'm heading up to Paris tonight, for some meetings about the 27 edition, which is all very exciting. So anyway, that's the. Am I going the right way? Yeah, that's the logo. That was the 50th anniversary of the original Whitbread race. That was translated 9, a beautiful Swan 65 that actually did the 73 race with Claire Francis, the female skipper on that boat. So that's a whole story in itself. But yeah, they were amazing. They had some boat problems towards the end, but long story. Oh, here we go. Jeepers, I've gone blank. Sorry. Neptune went around with supporting Parkinson's disease, and that was jeepers, I've gone blank. We're going over to San Francisco to help support their bloody campaign and the whole Parkinson push. You know, we have Citran as our wrong way. Citran is our charity overall, which is motor neurone disease, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and dementia. And Neptune was all about Parkinson's disease, and this guy on the helm here is suffering from Parkinson's disease, and went all the way around the world. It's a huge story, but anyway, if you follow the AGGH, you know all about it. That was actually, I forget the year, that was our little hut that we lived for a year in Antarctica, and this was a sledding trip that Margie and I were going to take off with, but we gave up. We're going to Madagascar nut attack, big rock sticking out of the ice, and we got up there and we got hooked up in some crevasses and some big blizzards, got buried in the snow with the tent. It was quite fun. Anyway, another long story. That was in '93. That's my BOC boat there. And that's we took 200 teddy bears down to Antarctica to raise some money for the local Camperdown Children's Hospital. That was a fun expedition, and I'm in these photos. Ooh, that was all of the people. There's some famous people there. Isabel Letitia, Bertie Reed from South Africa. That's oh bloody hell! I'm going crazy. It's the American rider guy, Hal Roth. He was in there. There's Robin Davey up there, and jeepers, all the boys, Kango, Birtles, and yeah. Anyway, that was our year of the GGR. There's Yuko Tada. Sadly, he committed suicide in Sydney. When he got there, the boat wasn't performing and all the rest of it. Oh, Hal Roth, he's the bane of all the people that have to get involved with sponsorship supplements. Not Hal Roth. This is Hal Roth over here. What's his name? Oh, jeepers, I just remembered it. Anyway, yeah, funny stories there. They're all the people that Josh Hall there, blah, blah, David Adams, racing in 1990 in the BOC. Anyway, I digress. So back here, and I'm going to talk about batteries after. Oh, they just drive me crazy. So anyway, we'll go through the tracker first. There's a few sailors still there heading into Rords Recife. So we've got some people who have joined us now, so that's cool. So you're on the tracker, and I'm going to be on the tracker in a second. Hang on, where is it? There it is. Okay, I'm on the tracker too. Oh, I thought everyone was there. There's Josh. So we have the gang's all there, and they're all making great progress towards Recife. Let's put the wind up. Those that are already in are very happy to be there. Obviously, cold beers, and we'll start to see some pictures of the place very soon. It looks like it's a bit of fun. Okay, that's it. A little bit of softness in the breeze here, the blue, so they'll be slowing down a bit maybe. Josh has still got some behind him. 3.9 knots, 110 mile day, still making good progress. 390 miles to go, so that's going to be about 4 days. It's Monday today. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You might see him Thursday night. Let's see how that pans out. Jasmine plodding along. 4.4, 106, about the same as Josh. Ayrton, 103, slowing down. I thought he'd be speeding up to get to the hotel or wherever he's going. Anyway, 3.6 knots, so they're all drifting along. Eric, 4.3, 115 miles. not too bad. Desperately trying to hang on to Kerry, 113, and Eric's 115. So, yep, Eric took out a couple of miles out of Kerry. So, and with 113 in the day, and there's 109 to go, and they're 3 hours ahead of us. So it's only 6 o'clock. That's like not UTC. So, what do I say? Our local time, yeah. 3 hours, so 6 o'clock. The sun will just be coming up. So Kerry should be there first light, or even in the dark, I think, because there seems to be a bit of breeze on the on the next part of the leg. Let's just move that forward every 3 hours. Here we come. Oh no, it's getting lighter. Okay, so Kerry should be. Oh no, you're popping off a bit there. 4:30 in the morning. It's a bit of a toss-up, but I think he'll be there at in the not twilight. As the sun might not be up, but there will be daylight, and he'll probably be sneaking around the breakwater. But anyway, we'll wait and see. And 5 to go, so that means Kerry and Eric and then will Entrant get in by tomorrow afternoon? No, Entrant might be a nighttime arrival. He'll probably slow down to come in daylight. I would if I was him. It's more pleasant. So he could be in the next 2 days. Jasmine the same. So it'll all be over and everyone's having a big holiday. The others have already started. It'll be interesting to see what they get up to. There's a lot to see and do there. Anyway, all kind of fun. I don't think there's a lot more we can go through. Are they getting sunshine and clouds? They've got pretty clear sky, blue sky. Waves will be nothing. Yep, nothing. Although there's still a bit of, you can see through there, going diagonally across from southwest to northeast. There's some disturbance in the middle there for Jasmine, and Entrant just got over it. It's coming up right in between Jasmine and Entrant, and then rolling across. Josh hasn't met that yet, but anyway, that's something to look forward to for them. Was there something I was going to show you? No, we briefly went through what's going on the other side. Okay, that's it. So there's not a lot there. I'll come back here. And I think I've got some reports. But before we get into it, my pet hate. I'll tell you about my pet hate. It all revolves around batteries. If there was 2 paper bags here, and both of them have got pies in them, right, or a pie or something, and you couldn't see the pie, would you buy it? Would you decide I'm going to buy that pie and pay €3 for it or something like that? Or everything you buy in the system, they've got to tell you what you're buying. You've got to know. You buy a packet of biscuits. I won't show you what I got for biscuits, but let's say if I said this biscuit, these lot of biscuits, on the back of the biscuits, you can detail everything you're buying, so you can make a decision on what you're buying. But guess what? What's the difference between these batteries here, right, and that's the red ones, and these ones? These are silver, right? You can't see that, but they're silver energizers, and these are red Phillips, okay? And these ones are gold Duracells, right? And that's it. On the back of it, you have no idea what you're buying. Any of these, they don't tell you anything about what you're buying, because what you're buying is power, right, or energy, or amps, right, or a whole series of watts divided by the voltage, right? So you can tell the capacity of the battery, and then you can tell how much energy or power you're buying. But batteries have never got to a system where you can actually see. Forget about the date when they're fresh or old, but when they're brand new and you're buying them, they don't tell you how many amps are in there or how many milliamps or whatever. You're actually buying it by their recommendation. Oh, these ones are 1.5 times the power of these ones, right? So you buy a silver one and it's not quite as strong as the gold one. You have no idea what you're buying. And it's the only thing that I get, and I've been on about this for like 20 years. It's the only thing somehow the battery companies have got it to the point where they don't have to tell you how much energy you're buying. You just got to look at the label. Like these ones say, the Philips one, I cut the things off so it fits in the box. All it says, holds power for up to 10 years, right? And these ones are shitloads cheaper than these ones, right? But you have no idea. You cannot compare them. There's nothing you can do to compare them. Anyway, my other thing so that's really just stupid. I tried to lobby for that a long time ago. 20 years ago, I was lobbying parliamentarians and all sorts of things, trying to get them to say pull their finger out. And consumer groups, everything you buy. Anyway, I digress. But this is a really cool little gadget. You can buy them for like $1, $2. Because you pick up a battery and you don't know what's going on. Whether it's one of your batteries, you don't know how much power's left in it. You can put it on there, and it gives you a readout, and you can see how much energy is left in the battery. Anyway, I've had my bitch this morning, but I was just packing these batteries away. I had to buy a bunch, and it just reminds me again. Every time I buy batteries, you're just a dill. You don't know. I feel like an idiot every time I buy batteries, because you get the real cheapies. I very rarely buy the cheapies. And they can be 1/4 the price of the other batteries, and you try to compare it. Super duper. Just super, But then you've got to believe them or not. Anyway, okay, enough of that. Now, do I have an entrant report? It's very relevant for boats, of course, because you go through a lot of batteries on boats. Okay, here we go. I don't know whether I've seen any come through. Have lots of emails. Here we go. Lots of messages, rather. Entrant reports. No, we haven't got any. Saturday. I read you Saturdays, but maybe there's some late ones. Yeah, the late one from Eric. There's a late one from Jasmine too, I think. Or did I read? No, that's Saturday. So I read you those ones. Sunday. Nothing. No entrant reports, so which is correct because I didn't schedule any for normal coming in on Sunday. So we'll just say good day here. Oh, Erton's there. Do you like buying batteries, Erton? That they make you feel like an idiot. Honestly, every time you go to buy batteries, you feel like I'm buying the gold ones. What are you buying? Oh no, maybe I should buy the silver ones. Bloody stupid. Anyway. G'day, Larry. Craig, what date will everyone set sail for the last finish line? February the 19th. February the 19th is start day. So then 2,500 miles to Antigua, and then we'll have to wait and see. So glad you're enjoying it there, Craig. I've always really enjoyed watching all the entrance processes on this race. Thank you. Yep, it's all cool. We're all involved with something very special, and I think that'll hit home when they get to Antigua. I know the entrants are loving it. They're going to have a great time in Brazil because, as I said yesterday, it's sort of the last leg. You just sort of look at it and think, geez, we've only got another 2,500 miles to go. And so and the weather should be reasonable. I mean, they'll have their challenges and stuff, but it's not like going around Cape Horn or something. Yeah, they'll let their hair down now for sure. And they all deserve it. It's been amazing. I used to race in Simonstown, False Bay Yacht Club, back in the late 70s against Bertie Reed and the boys. Good memories. Yeah, Bertie was an amazing guy. My favourite story for Bertie was in 1982 in the first BOC. He was sailing Traker. If you're South African, it's a very famous boat, 52-footer or something. Anyway, he's got a Navic wind vane on the back of the boat, and I always rave about Navic wind vanes, right? So to me, if I was doing around the world and wanted to go fast, say Renault goes fast, and save weight, you can pick up a bloody Navic with 2 fingers, but they're really strong because there's no load. They're a really smart principle. They are a servo pendulum wind vane, but they're a completely different concept where there's no load on anything to do with the boat except for the bloody. Oh, anyway, long story. Anyway, Bertie's got a Navic wind vane on Vortrekker, 52-footer, racing solo around the world. From America to Cape Town, through the Southern Ocean, around Cape Horn, all the rest of it. Did his Navic, no problem. Anyway, I had Navics. I knew them. I was fixing up the Aries wind vanes on boats. So I was servicing that because I was the Australian agent. And here's the story. There's a little linkage. It's about this long. It links the trim tab on the servo pendulum blade to the flip-flop vane. And it's only like about 4 days before the start of the race. and I'd done some stuff for him on his Navic, and we're standing on the wharf, concrete wharf, and talking, and I'm handing him the little link, right? And I dropped it, and I dropped it on the ground, and then it rolled and flicked into a little hole, which was about that big, which was to let water down on the wharf and dropped into the ocean, which was about 20 feet below the concrete wharf. And I just looked at him and thought, oh, fuck. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, I managed to find him another one. So that was very funny. Anyway, that was in 82. And then in 80, he did 86 as well. He did that in Stabilo Boss, which was the next Whitbread boat, which Tracy Edwards ended up buying it and doing the Whitbread in that after he'd finished that race. Or was that the... Yeah, that was Stabilo Boss, yeah, because then the next one that was in 86, and then in the next one in 1990, when I was actually sailing in the event, I was the race chairman with Robin Knox Johnson and the Sydney race chairman in the 86 race. Bertie's running a brand new boat, and I forget that was... I forget the name of it. That was the one that was the Biro Stabilo. Maybe that was Stabilo. I can't remember. Anyway, but that was his brand new boat, and he rescued John Martin in that. John Martin hit some ice, and a big lump of ice jammed in between his rudders. He had twin rudders, and I think that came out, but then he put a hole in the boat as well, and the boat ended up sinking, but Bertie got him just before the boat sank. It was a very dramatic race, that one. Anyway, all memories. So, yeah, a lot of fun times, and Ada's down in South Africa at the moment. Jeremy's down there with his boat, still finishing off his boat, and we enjoyed our time there. I just got another story, but I don't want to bore you with all the stories. Gilles was there, the guy that I'd mentioned from the start of the race, one of the three inspirations to forming the Mini Globe race was my interest in little boats, which is William Griffin, a Hunter 19 that did the first Ostars, the transatlantic races, and then the other boats that I'd been exposed to. One was a guy called Gilles and a little 21-footer in New Caledonia in 1981, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, cut a long story short, I met the same guy day before the start of the MGR. He's a solo sailor, Gilles, now an old bloke like me. Sailing solo, we were going to rendezvous in Cape Town, the stopover, but he's gone. And I didn't meet him, but he's there now because Ada met him yesterday. Anyway, enough of that. Also, hey, Don, you have lost me. I have trouble with batteries all the time. You have lost me. It's simply that when you buy a battery, if you buy a house battery for your boat, you'll buy a 110 amp hour battery, right? And that means if it's a 12-volt battery, you can work out your amps by the volts, and then you can divide it into it, and you can say, rightio, that's you pull a load of sort of 5 amps off of that, which is related to watts. So if you've got 512s of what's 512, 60 or whatever, you can determine how long technically your battery is going to keep producing power for. So you need to know how many amps. And so when you buy a battery like this, you have no idea how many amps are in that, no milliamps or whatever. You know the voltage, they give you the voltage, but they don't give you anything that you can work out the capacity, how much power is stored in that battery compared to a silver one, right? You don't know, you have no way to measure before you buy it or understand how much power is in a silver battery and how much power or how many amps is in the gold one. Or if you buy a blue one, or if you buy a lithium one, you cannot work out the capacity of the battery. And if it's fully charged, that's how much energy or power you're going to get out of the battery. You can't do it. You just got to buy it by the colour and what they say on the bloody box. It's just stupid. So, if you come in and you see the gold ones are going to cost $1 each or €1 each, and the silver ones are going to cost half €1, 50 cents each, and the green ones from Taiwan or China are going to cost a quarter of that, you don't know how much energy's in it. You're buying it by the colour of the battery. Whereas if they told you how many milliamps are in it, or gave you the voltage and the amount of watts that they can hold in capacity, you can say, well, this one is twice as powerful as that one, and this one's 50 cents, this one's $1, so they're the same. You're just buying 2 of these ones packed up into the one package. Whereas if this one here is only 30 cents and that's $1. And this one's half as good as that. You buy two of the 30-cent ones, and you've got the same capacity or the same power or the same energy, call it what you like, in that battery. They don't give you any of that. So it's crazy. Anyway, I'm losing people. I can see them dropping off like crazy, getting bored with that. It's just one of those things. I like to know what I'm buying, and I hate getting sucked in every time you buy it, but I still buy the gold ones because they're obviously should be the strongest. Why? Because the person who's selling it to you says so. Bloody stupid. Okay, morning, Larry. I'm going back. What that set off got that. Larry used to be in Simonstown. Did you ever race or sail with Mike Plant? Absolutely. We had dinner often, and he was an amazing guy. Mike was really quite an incredible sailor and an adventurer and crazy dude. Like if you've seen his film, you know what it's about. He was tied up with, got involved with all sorts of sort of stuff, in his younger life. But he sorted it out, and there he was in the first race. He came up with Airco, anyway, which Josh Hall bought, and I raced against him in that. And then he kept going bigger and got other boats, and then he built that absolute rocket for the Vendée Globe. And we actually, I'll never forget, because he's sailing across the Atlantic. We're thinking, oh, is he going to get to the start of the Vendée Globe? We thought we'd better go and check him out. So we jumped the plane and headed over there. And of course, to watch the start of the Vendée, I hadn't been to the start of a Vendée. This was a long time ago. And a few of us were going, and bugger me, he disappeared. The boat flipped upside down, the keel came off, but we lost him, which was very sad indeed. So that was a bit quiet at the start of the Vendée. And I caught up with Minoru Sato there as well. I'll never forget him. My little Japanese mate, comes running out of the. So he'd done the BOC. He did a lot of BOCs, wearing all his merchandise and stuff at the train station here in Les Sables d'Olonne, and he's down there. She's come running down the thing. Anyway, great guy. He passed away a few months ago, well, probably 6 months ago. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, Mike was an interesting guy, and he lived in Newport, and we chatted a lot, spent a bit of time together, and we went to his place one day. I'll never forget. His place, he had a fish pond, and it was frozen over, and he had, what was the animal? I forget. He had animals. Anyway, but yeah, nice guy, amazing story. Sad ending, but there you go. The ocean is demanding at times. So yeah, the Duracell Pro. Oh yeah, I know what you mean. The Duracell project. Someone got one of these other boats and turning it into a sort of like a cruising boat. I haven't seen it for a year or so, but I bumped into that YouTube channel a few times while they were refitting, and they'd done the doghouse and I put the things in. Also, hello Don, you have lost me. I have trouble with battery. I hope that explains it. Eric's family watching from Melbourne. Okay, he's nearly there. So, and he's going to be mobbed. There's a whole groupie session there. They watch the song and they want his autograph, and they want to see the man himself. So, Roberto, hi Don. I have a question. When you buy a 580, you must have a blog, right? No, you don't have to. It's only when you build. So when you buy a 580, you must have a blog, right? I'm asking because the only Italian on the list has only one picture on his blog, but I believe he finished the boat sometime. Wondering if you must report all the makings. Well, here's how it works. You must have a blog that depicts the building of the boat, okay? And the only reason you wouldn't do the blog is if you didn't want class approval. When you've built your boat, you've got to submit a lot of documentation, and we look at the building blog to make sure that even what we're seeing, it's all been done right. They need to collect a lot of data on the keel and the weight at different times and all this sort of stuff. There's forms to fill out, and we put it all together, and when we assess it, and subject to the final pull down to get the amount of weight on the mast before it goes up, we will issue the class certificate, class certification, and they get a plate that they put on the boat, and then it's class approved. That means you can do the races. Now, you don't have to do that. You can build your boat and go sailing. A couple of builders in Brazil have done that because it's very expensive for them to get stuff imported in, and so they just do their own stuff, and happy to have a boat and go sailing, but they can't actually race with us if they wanted to do a race. So I'm not sure of the Italian there that's finished his boat. So yes, building the boat, you've got to have a blog. But once you've built the boat, uh, and if you buy a boat, you don't need to. You just buy the boat, go sailing. We hope you do a blog because people will be interested in what you're doing. But it's only for the build, and it's only if you want class approval. And most of the boats want class approval. It's better for resale value. But I don't know. I'd have to find out who that Italian one is there. So anyway, and it also means if you're going to buy the boat, you can actually look at the builder's blog and see how it was built, and you can get more information on what the boat is. So Causeway Kayak, you can try Georgie for the you can try Google for the that's interesting, for the capacity of capacity of AA batteries. It's saying single-use alkaline. Yeah, now you see that's the difference there. Single-use alkaline, 1800 milliamps. But that's probably a good measure because but then again, you see, you've got to also consider how much power they want to do it. Because if you say that's like the capacity, right? That's like saying, rightio, you've got a bucket and it's 12-litre bucket, right? Now when you buy it, it doesn't mean to say, because you can't tell if it's full, if the bucket's full or half empty, how much power they're going to put into the bucket, because how much energy they're going to put in the bucket, because they're all 12-litre buckets. They're the same size, so that's the size. And if the alkaline is 1800 milliamps, that's the capacity you can put in there. But how much are they going to fill it up? If you want to sell a cheap battery, don't put as much power in it. Don't top it right up. Just top it half up. You're saving the energy. So anyway, it's and there's nothing on this battery that says, unless they've changed it since I looked. Haven't done this for about 5 years. There's nothing on this battery. It just says alkaline AA. That's all. There's nothing there that says exactly the capacity, but that's a good idea. 1800 milliamps as a size, but did they fill it right up? And I'm sure there's going to be different types of builds of the battery. This is possibly the raw material on this. To build this battery could be completely different, could be more expensive than a cheaper version of a AA. So there's still a lot of variables there. I'd much rather see it there, but that's a good idea. In fact, I'm busy at the moment, but I might walk around. I'll get James onto it. Anyway, all right, enough of that. So I don't think there's anything I need to tell you. There's no reports, no bits and pieces. So we should be back tomorrow for another update. We're up to Paris tonight, and I've got the meeting in the morning, but it depends when we leave the hotel. So we'll see how we go. Okay, thanks for that, everybody. Have a good Monday, and we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. See you later.